Hello and welcome to the next episode of HCTV. As usual, with our guests Dave and Ian, also known all three of us as the Glasses Gang, this evening. Good to see you all. Got the glasses on this week, lads. Ready to for some more winners. Well, in your case, Dave, some more winners. Ian case, just a winner will do us, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for that. not like
you can only live on your past results, mate. Nothing goes from weeks before, and you're on your past results.
Yeah. You're literally as good as your last bet, aren't you?
Yeah, that's it. That's
it. How quickly you can fall from one week to the next. You were this messiah last week.
As a winner, have you, Dave?
We'll get on to the winners in a second. We're recording this on Thursday evening, so West Brom v Everton should be about 1 minute in. Have they just kicked off, Ian?
1 minute 11 seconds. Not that I'm distracted by the TV.
So come on, then if you two again use the word loosely. Let's give it because we're normally on about 45 minutes or so. Let's have a first half bet from you straight off the cuff. What's your winner first half bet?
You put us on the spot there, Mucke.
Yeah, I know. Go on then. I'll start. I'll go Richarlison. I'll just go Richarlison first scorer.
What's the score in the first half?
First half, Richarlison first goal scorer first half, and overall, I'm going to go for Everton 2-1, which I think is about 7-1.
I think it's going to be dead tight this game tonight. In fact, to be honest, I think all the games. There's some good games there tonight, but I think they'll all be tight. Obviously, Liverpool play Chelsea as well, and Tottenham away at Fulham. Is it away at Fulham?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. I can see all games being quite tight. To be honest, I think Everton. Carlo's been talking about top four, hasn't he, this week? So you can't talk top four.
Ian, it's not Soccer Saturday, mate. What's your bet?
Love that. Calvert-Lewin 1-0 half time.
Right. Okay. Well, do you know what? Before we've come on air, should I say, 15 minutes ago, I put a bet on actually, and the odds are unbelievable. Calvert-Lewin to score any time, and there's a player called Conor Gallagher for West Brom in midfield. He seems to get booked every week, but he's not been booked the last two games. So I've just put him to be booked. Calvert-Lewin to score any time, 6.6-1. I've had to put a tenner on that. That's 66 quid, mate.
Yeah, I'll have a bit of that, mate. I like that.
Buying money. Okay, so that's good.
Can't believe you just had a go at me for talking on a podcast.
I know, sorry, mate.
So I thought that's what we were here for. Know what I
mean? You were trying to talk until your first bet came in, and then you said, I was going to tell you about that one.
I'll tell you what, Pickford's just made a great save there. I was going to change my bet to a West Brom player.
Okay, so moving on to last week. Ian, do you want to talk about yours?
And if you want. We were just saying, weren't we, before we come on, you're only as good as your last bet. And,
yeah.
My last bet.
The high life to the low life straight away, mate. Hero to villain.
My last bet fell. Literally. Good old the Dutchman. He was leading at the time as well. And to be honest, not to sound sour grapes, I thought he was going quite well in that race. Doing exactly what I said he'd do, sort of jumping from the front, bowl along, got into a nice rhythm. And then he landed steeply, and he didn't fall, actually. He unshipped the jockey fell off. The double we put on came second and third, and then the other one, Slate House, I think that finished about 8, 9, something like that.
Yeah, so it was going all right, wasn't it? And then all of a sudden it was just was that the last one? I can't remember.
No,
it might have been the last one that he was on about. It was going all right, and then just did nothing.
Yeah, to be honest, Slate House, I was never comfortable with. He never got into a slick round of jumping, and the writing was on the wall after about 3 fences, I thought, on that one. So one of those weeks just to write off, to be honest. Shows why we're not professional and we're just having a bit of a giggle with this.
Yeah, that's it. So, I mean, this week they're all going to be winners anyway, aren't they? We know that. So
of course they are.
Come on then, Dave. I mean, first of all, the 9-1 treble for teams to win. I mean, we've hit the bar there, haven't we, with that one, mate? I mean, what was it? we was hoping. So they were all, well, Bolton we needed, didn't we, going into the last bit, and then in the end, Bolton scored 90 plus 3 minutes, I think it was. But Borough had equalised on the 82nd minute, hadn't they, mate?
Yeah. Well, what I said before I said it last week, I don't know whether you remember, because you know, it was a week ago.
No.
I said that is going to really annoy me if it doesn't come in, because Cardiff are flying, and I said Borough are just they're awful. But I said no, in my luck this week they'll nick some, and lo and behold, 82nd minute. And what did I put down now? Yeah, Cardiff in the week 2 nights ago, they went and beat Derby 4-0. And they'd won the previous 6 before that, Cardiff. They're flying, but they drew 1-1 at Middlesbrough. And that's just betting, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
come on,
it is.
Come on. There was some positives to take from your weekend of betting there, Dave, wasn't there?
Yeah, well, we got the goals galore in, didn't we? The treble, 5-1.
5-1 treble. I mean, that's all you can ask for, isn't it? 5-1 winner. You'd be happy with that most weekends, wouldn't you?
I think that's exactly what I said to you, Dave, wasn't it? Give me a 5-1 winner every week, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, what just out of interest, what did the sixfold pay if that had come in? Do you know?
Oh,
yeah, it was. Well, it's 60-1 because I put a fiver on all 6. And it would have returned 300 off a fiver.
I went Bertie Big Biscuits, didn't I? And stuck a tenner on it. And I'd sort of been checking the scores sporadically throughout the day. And I'd seen that the teams to win were all winning. And I'd almost got that as a given at that point.
Yeah.
And then when I seen the both teams to score had come in, I quickly shot back, onto me William Hill account, ready to start doing a conga. And I was looking at it, I was thinking, why is he not in my balance here? I was absolutely distraught.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking, isn't it, that late goal. But like we say, that's why we bet every weekend. If we win every week, we wouldn't be sat here, would we? We'd be on a yacht somewhere. And Davey, you both teams to score, mate. That wasn't a million miles out. I mean, Harris, unfortunately for Peterborough, beat Wigan. He scored 2, didn't he? I think he scored both for Peterborough. Zola for the Bundesliga second division. He set up the first goal, didn't he?
Yeah, they won 3-0. Yeah. So.
And then I think we were chatting earlier today that Doyle for Bolton, he didn't score, but then scored midweek again, didn't he?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so we was there or thereabouts.
Yeah, so a 5-1 winner, a 9-1 got let down in the last 8 minutes, and your first goal scorer there or thereabouts. You know what I mean? You can't ask for much more of a run for your money, really, can you?
No, it's good going last week.
Dave, I see your man from Rangers scored midweek, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. We had him.
Morelos. We did.
Yeah, so late on in the game, I put on one of our WhatsApp groups, Morelos was 11-2 when they were 0-0. So, and even better, to make it even sweeter, I had a £5 free bet as well. So I thought, I'll just put that on it. Lovely. £27 in. We'll have some of that.
Do you know what was nice about it? It was a tap in the 87th minute. Lovely.
Well, I mean, that's all well and good, these tips, lads. But I mean, did you see that one on Paddy Power this week?
Which one, mate?
The £10 that he cashed out on. Yeah. So you think you're good at your foreign teams, Dave, your German second division. Yeah. This fella predicted 11 out of 12 accumulator, all to be draws. Now, he had games from Switzerland, England, Uruguay, all these bizarre, well, not England's not bizarre, but all these bizarre games and stuff. So it's as if you follow Wigan, some of the places we go to. Anyway, but he cashed out for £78,123 off a tenner. And luckily, his last game was Bournemouth v Watford on the Saturday. So they were all like Friday night games and stuff, and Saturday early hours. And his last game to win, it would have brought him £437,000 if it had won. And he cashed out at 78,000. And his last game was Bournemouth v Watford, and obviously Bournemouth won 1-0. So greatest cash out ever.
Greatest cash out ever, yeah. I tell you what, he must have been pissed putting that on a Friday night. He's had a couple of beers in the house, and gone to. And he's just looked at what games were coming up.
Oh, of course he has. One of his games, I think the team, it finished 2-2, and one of the teams came back from 2-0 with 2 penalties or something like that. So if your luck's in, innit?
That's class. I'd say it's the equivalent of me and you getting drunk and betting on the American racing on a Friday night. But did you know
likely to happen?
Yeah, but he's been there, hasn't he? And thought I'm going to have a tenner on, because you wouldn't put a tenner on 11 draws, not sober.
I reckon he's had a win earlier in the night as well, and he thought, "Oh, sorry, I'm on a roll. I'll have a tenner."
Yeah,
without a doubt.
No one puts 11 draws on.
No, and then so he's got up Saturday morning with his cash out at that, thinking, "Hang on." Imagine that night sleep. I hope he had a drink, because otherwise there's no chance of him sleeping, is there? Waiting on with his cash out at 78 grand, waiting for the next day.
Bournemouth against Watford.
Never ever has anyone been looking forward to that match as much in their life.
No, yeah. Do you know? Did he cash out? Did he cash out before the game or halfway through it, or what?
I don't know. So at that, it must have been halfway through. I don't know that much. For that cash out, it must have gone down, mustn't it?
Yeah, it must have. Yeah, it must have. It must have been because the draws are always 2-1 plus, aren't they?
Yeah, normally. Definitely.
So 78 must have been in play.
Yeah, I bet it was. So I bet he was jumping around the room when it finished 1-0 and not the draw, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know. Brilliant.
That's like winning another bet on its own, isn't it? And then obviously, was it last night before? Holly Doyle at Kempton.
Wow.
5 winners that paid 2,522 to 1.
Was you on it, Ian?
No. To be honest, mate, I've been limiting the amount of stuff I'm doing midweek. I've been busy with work and stuff, and trying to, make sure I don't throw much away before Cheltenham. And Kempton on a cold Wednesday night is a graveyard for just losing cash. And to be honest, right, if you look at the prices of some of our winners, they weren't all fancied, and it was only the last one. It was the 6th one. She was going for the 6th on the trot. That got hammered into favouritism, and I think she came 4th onto that on that in the end. But yeah, you got to take your hat off to her. She's just tactically phenomenal. She positions a horse brilliantly in the race. She gets the pace right more often than not, and you see her. I like it when she comes from behind.
Into a horse, then.
I like it when she comes from behind. Holly Doyle, she's great. She's great at that. Can we move on, Chris? No, when you're halfway through a sentence and you know it's going to end up dodgy.
So you got a bit of a feeling for Holly Doyle then, Ian?
Yeah, I always get a good feeling when she comes from behind in the race.
Yeah. Anyway, so this week, not a great deal happening this week. I've been watching, and I'm going to save it for another episode. I've been watching a bit of the Cornhole Championships. Have you seen any of that? Which I know is big in some parts. The Cornhole Championships, which literally it's a bag of corn you throw into a hole. But the Americans, as they do normally, they call it like the World Series or something when it's only the Americans who play it. But I'll talk about that because I know you'll be looking forward to that special. We're going to have a Cheltenham special and we're going to have a Cornhole Championship special episode.
I'll tell you what, Chris, I love the way you're teasing our listeners now. Tune in next week for the Cornhole special.
I'm going to have a phone in so you can all go away watching it this week and then ring in who's your favourites and stuff.
Just as a matter of interest, Chris, who's your favourite cornholer?
Mine's the Green Giant.
I couldn't possibly pick. They're all good. A lot of them will be watching now, so I wouldn't like to favouritism anybody else. The cricket this week, a little bit today. I'm not sure what it finished on. England and India in the 4th test today, but it's not looking good for England anyway. So that's well done. Then it's on to the T20s for them. Six Nations, there's not a great deal happening in that. England were, I think last week they said they were 3-1 favourite. They're 50-1 now.
I tell you what, lads. Did you see any of the England-Wales game and some of the decisions from that referee last week?
No, I didn't watch it.
Geez, we thought VAR was bad.
Was it bad? Yeah.
Oh, it was pretty awful. There was at least 2, maybe 3 decisions there, which were scandalous. And that's not me being bitter against the Welsh.
Would it make you go off on a rant like Steven Gerrard did the other night?
Quite a good rant, that, wasn't it? Yeah, I enjoyed that. It was 3 of them. He can abide one mistake, but he can't abide all 3 of them getting it wrong, can he? No, it was pretty bad. Like, I think Wales were quite fortunate to come away with the win, but I think they're top now, aren't they? The Welsh and favourites to win the tournament.
Yeah, so 5-6, Wales are to win it now, and France are 5-4, just behind them. After England got beat by Wales 40-24, won it, so they got a bit of an hammering, really. So there's not much between 5-6, 5-4, Wales and France. I think the next game's in about a week or so, is it? There's nothing this weekend.
I think it's the week after, yeah.
Yeah. So that'd be for them to play for. So moving on to kind of this week, really, lads. I mean, the big, especially for you, the big thing just with Cheltenham round the corner is I don't want to go into it with too much detail, is the old the Gordon Elliott thing. Is absolutely astounding. When that story started to break the other day, I couldn't believe my eyes, and I couldn't believe that the stories that were coming out and how it's going to affect things. Do you think it's going to now? There's a lot of horses that have moved stables and things. Do you think it's going to go and impact the horse as much? It throws Cheltenham wide open now, doesn't it?
I don't know about wide open, but well, we're recording this Thursday night. Everton still 0-0, and the Irish Racing Authority meet tomorrow to give their verdict on what they're going to do after carrying out the investigation, which has been fast-tracked. They normally take the time on these investigations, but as you say, with Cheltenham round the corner and the height of publicity that this story's got, I mean, this hasn't just been on the sports pages, this has been all over national press, front and back pages, and it's a proper knife in the back for horse racing, because there's enough people out there already who think it's cruel, don't agree with it, don't fully understand it, and normally take the Grand National as their benchmark for how horses are treated year round. And there's a lot more into it than that. And I think with that image coming out, and then subsequent thing being leaked, and the amateur jockey who was associated with his stable as well, it's, forget about Gordon Elliott in the stable for a minute. It has a proper detrimental effect for the horse racing industry, full stop, which is going to be quite difficult to overcome. Personally, he's messed up. The sponsors have pulled out from his stable. Loads of owners have started moving their horses in time for Cheltenham, because as it stands at the moment, he's not allowed to bring any horses over. The British authorities have stopped that in England. I can't see any other outcome than a ban, really, from training and being involved with horses. I think they need to take that bigger stance, regardless of any of the rationale, the reasoning, or the thought process behind it. The whole issue's got so big now that the horse racing authorities need to make an example of it. And it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter what your opinion on it is. The negative PR associated with it is too big for the authorities not to give him a ban. So I will be very shocked if he retains his licence after tomorrow.
Yeah, it's totally, especially before a couple of weeks before the biggest, in my view, the biggest race meeting.
Well, it is. It is. And do
you
know what? Was main hot pot Envoy Allen, that has moved to Henry de Bromhead's stable. He's got Sir Gerhard, who's a cracking bumper horse, has moved over to Mullins, but most of the Cheveley Park stud horses have gone to Henry de Bromhead. And personally thinking that, Paul Nicholls came out during the week and said, moving stables this close to Cheltenham can't be good for the horses. But actually, in the case of Envoy Allen, he's just, he's head and shoulders he's head and shoulders above probably what he'll come up against in the race. I don't think it'll make a difference. Plus, I was discussing midweek, you get a lot of these horses travelling over to the States for races and loads of different countries. They have, so they go over there for, sometimes a week before and settle into stables, and the horses have all got to travel over to Cheltenham. I'm not convinced it affects them that much, to be honest, but we'll see, won't we?
We were comparing it to when you stay in a hotel, a weird hotel or something. Are the horses like that in the stables? Are they like wandering about and up all night and looking out the windows?
Looking for ice and
around?
Yeah,
horsing around. To be fair, if it is like that, I never sleep well in hotels. So
that's what I mean. Oh, they can't get comfy in that bale of hay. It's not got their groove in it or something.
They've got to watch out with the water. When they brush, they can all do it brushing the teeth. They can't drink the water.
just 3 bottles of water in the corner of the stable.
Oh dear. I don't know. So, moving on to this week, then, lads. I know you're going to go out on in a sec, Dave, about your tips for Saturday and stuff. I looked at Sunday first of all. It's another good day of football. I'm liking these Sundays with 4 games on.
Yeah,
it's no good for my pocket, but it's good to watch.
But it's no good for your marital relationships either, mate. You know what I
mean? Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
you can literally sit there from morning until night, can't you? Just watching football.
Yeah, I do.
I know. So do I. I'm just saying, that's all, It's great fun.
Yeah, it's good. So I can't wait for the football to get properly, but the games on Sky is good, really. So, okay, Dave, we may as well start with you, Dave, for carry on this winning streak, I think, mate. Go take us through your selections for this weekend, if you would, please, pal.
Right, okay, no worries. Now, I've made loads of notes this week. I've got it, so you're gonna have to bear with me because I've got loads of stats to say why I've picked certain selections. So,
do you remember Stato off Fantasy Football with Badil and Skinner?
Yeah, of course I do. Stato, yeah.
You'll have to come in next week with a dressing gown on. The Stato.
He's still knocking around him. He works for I can't remember what bookmaker he works for, but he works for a bookie. He's a stupidly intelligent guy, no mathematics and all that.
Yeah.
So all the odds and whatever else. Yeah, apparently he's really clever. So that's blew that for you, Dave, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, I do miss that show though. That was the best football show. That they couldn't get away with it these days though.
Not a chance.
I'll tell you what, as well, talking about great shows, Ian St. John left us this week, didn't he? Satan Greaves, he was belting growing up, wasn't it? I used to love that. What's Satan Greaves? And Footy Focus, you'd have to switch between the two.
Yeah. Now it's on demand, isn't it? You can get any score, any goals, anytime you want, really, can't you?
Yeah. There's only Soccer AM now really left, isn't there?
And that's gone terrible, hasn't it?
That's awful now. I can't watch it.
It used to be so good, that programme, didn't it, years ago?
Yeah, with Helen Chamberlain and Tim Lovejoy.
Yeah, that's when it was ace, it was good during that time.
Yeah, it was on all morning, wasn't it? All morning it was on.
I know, yeah. I think it used to be on 9 till 1 or something like that, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Now I think it's on for an hour or something.
I know.
Dave, over to you. Stats out.
Yeah, sorry.
Get your stats out for the lads.
Right. No problem. Right, so we'll do the same format as last week because it worked, didn't it? The 3 trebles.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, my first treble isn't great. It isn't huge odds, so you may want to combine them. Well, I'll go through them. So the first one, we're going for the win treble. So we're starting off with Barnsley and Birmingham. Barnsley to beat Birmingham. The reason for this, Barnsley have won the last 6 and they've only conceded 3 goals. Birmingham have only won 3 out of the last 18 and they've lost 11 games. So Barnsley are flying and they should have enough to beat Birmingham. Next is Hull and Bristol Rovers. Now, Hull, they're not great at home, but the last 2 games, they've won 2 and 3-0 against Rochdale and Wimbledon. Now, they're playing Bristol Rovers at home. Now, I see Bristol Rovers as poor as Rochdale and Wimbledon. They've not won in the last 8, and they've lost 6 of them, Bristol Rovers. So, again, it points to a strong home win. The final one is Sunderland and Rochdale. Sunderland to win. As you know, if you've been obviously watching the football, Sunderland are flying. Rochdale, not so much. And it's the same as the Hull game, if I'm honest. I think that they'll have too much, and it really does point to a home win. So the treble of the home wins there is just over 3-1.
Oh, so it's a big lumpy one, this then, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, as I say,
is this a wheelbarrow job?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, as I say, it's not great odds, but I mean, if we're combining it now with the treble, as I'll explain, I think it's got a really good chance of coming in. I mean, obviously, the lower the odds, the more chance of it coming in anyway. Obviously, that's the thing with betting, isn't it? So, anyway,
I'm loving the stats as well, mate.
Well, there you go. So next, right, we've got Wigan and MK Dons. Now,
every week he's on with Wigan here.
Well, I knew you was going to say that. But with this one, right, it's if Wigan score, but I think they will. And the reason behind this is that
you've got to make the bottom of the league.
Well, that's one of the reasons. But, I thought it's my turn to speak, Chris. Wigan this, Wigan that. Give me a minute.
Hey, Dave, I started speaking before, and he gave me down the banks for it, didn't he? May as well just recall this the Chris show.
Should we do our own spin-off, Ian, and don't tell Chris, do it?
We'll call it that.
Don't tell Chris. They're going to call me. Sorry, Dave. Before he was really interrupted.
Right, okay. You're going to love these stats. So MK Dons have been involved in 20 goals in the last 4 games. They've scored 9. And listen to this, they've conceded 11. So they're conceding a lot of goals. So they're going to go to Wigan. They will score, MK Dons. And I think Wigan will at least get 1. So that's your first goals galore. Your second goals galore is Morecambe against Carlisle. Now, Morecambe have scored in every home game in the last 16 games, apart from at home to Tranmere, and they had a red card and a missed pen. Morecambe, so that's every game they've scored in the last 16, apart from that.
Oh, and a wise choice with Morecambe there.
Lovely, we like it. Ian's watching the Everton game here. He's not interested in these stats.
I'm writing it down, but there was a corner.
Oh, was it?
You missed out on my perfect joke then.
No, I didn't, mate. When I did that was nothing to do with the corner. That was Morecambe and Wise.
So go on. So, and I've not really got much stats about Carlisle apart from looking at the away games, and they tend to score away even when they get beat. So that's Morecambe and Carlisle. That's the next one. And
that's the tribute act, Morecambe and Carlisle.
What was that?
That's the tribute act, Morecambe and Carlisle.
That shouldn't have tickled me as much as it
did. Jesus. Oh, God. When we're starting this spin-off show, right. Last one. I'm getting finished up here, so I can listen to you and watch the Everton game. Right, is Tranmere and Crawley. Tranmere very strong at home. They've scored. They've won the last 13 out of 17 at home, scoring a lot of goals. Crawley have lost the last 4. Actually, what's this? That's it. This is a really good stat. Crawley have lost the last 4 away, but they've scored in all of them. And they've also scored in the last 12 away games. So even when they're getting beat, they're always scoring. So that's the third one. So the treble for the goals galore is just short of 5-1. Yeah.
Nice.
If you right
That's
now,
a good price, that, isn't it?
for the goals galore.
Yeah, I like
Now listen to this.
that.
So, do you know last week where we had the R5 kickoff with was it Mönchengladbach and I can't remember. It was 3-2 anyway, and it was
Leipzig,
the R5
Leipzig.
Yeah. And the R5 kickoff. Well, we've got the biggest goals galore of the weekend happening in Germany at 5:30 again on Saturday. Bayern Munich and Dortmund. So when them three come in that treble, if you want to add Bayern and Dortmund to it to make it a fourfold, so you can watch that later on. That's just short of 7-1 for the fourfold.
Oh, it bumps it up nicely, doesn't it?
It does. So I'll finish up by saying, if you want to go ahead and do the 2 3-folds, the win treble and the goals galore treble as a 6-fold, that's 22-1. If you want to add the Bayern Munich game, so you make it a 7-fold, that's 31-1.
That's the one. That's mine.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going to have some of that, Dave. That's a good one, that.
In Dave, we trust.
Yeah, I can't see against any of them. I like them.
Well, I can't. I mean, again, the only ones that I worry about is the win ones because of what happened last week with Cardiff. But I can easily see all them three winning the teams to win. So fingers crossed on it. Anyone who has a bet, good luck.
Nice one. Any first scorers, Dave? Or
yeah, I'm going to do a partridge for this. I'm just going to name you 3 names, quick fire, like partridge does. J.O. Reading, Tony Brentford, White Sunderland.
Brilliant.
There's your treble.
I think this has been my favourite show so far. You know, this has beaten the World Timber Championships last week. This.
Oh, there's been a hell of a lot happening with that this week. Oh, it's been a big week in Timberwood.
Timberwood. It's not where they play it. Timberwood Village.
Timberland. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll move on.
Updated on that when we do the cornhole episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're both busy that week, eh? Quick update on Everton. 0-0.
Oh, is it? Has that player been booked yet? The one who said I'm definitely going to get booked.
I've been glancing, mate. I haven't been keeping that much.
No. So shots on target, 60% Everton. Shots 3 against 4.
To be fair, Chris, if you stop banging on about stats, I can finish this and go and watch it.
Yeah, very true, mate. Very true. Right, Ian, over to you. Bag as a winner this week, will you please, mate?
I'll try my best. Doing the usual. Looked at what's on ITV for this weekend. Try and stick to the ITV races, so anyone who is going to have a little punt at the weekend gets to watch it on the telly and hopefully cheer home a couple of winners. 3 for us to look at this week. First one is the 150 at Newbury. It is the Great Wood Chase. It's 2 mile 4.
I'm already giggling trying to think of a name for a horse, and you've not even said them yet.
I tell you what, Morecambe and Carlisle will have come up with a name already.
You were pleased with that one, weren't you? You can have that one. You can have that. You can use that.
I don't think it'll work in any other circumstances, to be honest.
I'll tell you what, if Jeff Stelling says it this week on Soccer Saturday.
Anyway, so here's a stat for you. Stat-o Dave. The last 11 runs of this race, Paul Nicholls has won 8 of them. Which, 8 in the last 11 years, he's won 8 years. It's just ridiculous that. I couldn't believe it when I looked at that before. He's got 2 runners in the race this time round. Grand Sonsi is the favourite for the race. It's a Nicholls horse. Looks like his main hope. It has got Bryony Frost on board. To be honest, I can't work the horse out. I've looked at it. I can see why it's favourite given it's Nicholls' number 1 hope. And he's won that many So he clearly targets this race as one he likes to win. It's been off for about 4 months. It's only 7-2 in the bet, and I say it's favourite. And I don't like backing favourites in these big handicap races anyway. I always like to try and get, a little bit more value, so we can look at it each way bet. Look through the stats. 7-year-old horses do well in this race, and there's a few of them in it. Umbrigado, I'm convinced that's better on soft or heavy ground. Pistol Whipped for Nicky Henderson, and just look at his face. There's got to be a joke there. I don't think his form's quite as strong. I can't look at your face anymore, Chris, while I'm doing this.
I'm just staying quiet, mate.
Can you turn your video off while we do that? And then, look at the name of these horses here. Killer Clown. It won well last time, but it's shot up the handicap and it's carrying a massive weight. So I'm going to go for a horse, which the more I looked at it, the more I fancied, called Senior Citizen. Are you writing jokes down, Chris, or are you writing?
This is for my next episode. I've got a stand-up comedy.
Right,
comedy.
Listen, let's get serious. The more I looked at this horse before when I was doing a bit of research for tonight, the more I like Senior Citizen. It's carrying a lovely weight. The stable is going quite well at the moment. It's had a little bit of a break since its last run, but it goes well fresh. And I think it needed that break. Its last run was at Aintree over the Grand National fences. It wasn't the Grand National, it was a shorter race. It was a 2.5 mile race over the Grand National fences in November. And to be honest, it travelled really well. But what I've been most impressed with this race and the last couple of races is how well it jumps. It loves jumping. It proper ping the fence. And you've got to be a good jumper to travel well around Aintree over those fences. It just got tired on the run-in last time. Everyone who's watched the Grand National, that run-in as they come past the elbow and everything, it's a hell of a long run-in. That probably the longest in racing after the last fence. So it's been given a little break to freshen it up. The race before that, it ran a great race. Given weight to a horse, it was carrying about £8 more than a horse that's rated higher than him now. So that form's been franked. And there's a horse in this race called the Big Bite. It finished 3 lengths behind that last time, but this time gets a 12.
Jumping at the bit to get going, isn't it?
And so last time, just ignoring that. He's got a £12. He's got a £12 swing in the weights on that one. It's 7-1. It's for the Alan King stable. He's got Adrian Heston riding. Really like this jockey. 7-1's a great each way bet. Given the size of the race, you might get 4 places. Defo worth a goal. Like.
My only worry with that one would be it's taken age to get round.
Why is that, mate?
Well, anyway.
Senior Citizen, it's all right.
At least had his Toby jab. Come on, we'll carry on.
Yeah, he's got an advantage there, hasn't he? Right, next race. 2:20 at
just going back to that one, Ian. So your selection, that was the last one that you said, was it?
Senior Citizen, mate.
Yeah. And that's 7-1.
Say the more 7-1, mate. Yeah, the more I looked at it, the more I actually fancied that one. 2:20 at Donny. It's a 3 mile mares hurdle race. To be honest, it's quite a tricky race, and quite a few have got chances in the hindsight. I'm sorry I picked it, really. But I've made me notes now, so I may as well plod on. Because it is a tricky race. Win House is the favourite, and it's 2-1. It's a very lightly raced race. It's only had 6 runs in its whole life, so it's got loads of potential to improve. Personally, its last race was at Cheltenham. I don't think that's form stacking up. It might need this run after some time off. Now, there's a few in this race that have been off the track for quite a while, and given the races coming up at Cheltenham, where there's a couple of mares races to go at, it's in the back of my mind wondering whether there's a few horses and a few trainers using this race as a bit of a prep, just to get a little bit of fitness on its side, ready for Cheltenham in a couple of weeks. I might be completely off with that, but if these horses are going to Cheltenham, this is the only reason I can think why run now 2 weeks before instead of just hanging on.
Ian, can I just ask you a question? Is it not too close to Cheltenham to be running now? It seems really close. Is it normally 3 or 4 weeks? And not normally would like.
Yeah, normally you'd expect the horse to have at least 3 or 4 weeks break before it. However, there are certain races and certain horses where it doesn't matter as much. A lot of these will be entered up at Cheltenham, and sometimes it's how the racing calendar falls, whether they can get a prep run into it. And there might not have been any mares races over this distance within the last couple of weeks, so that makes me think, are they exactly tuned up, ready to go? Who knows? There's Go Millie Go, that'll be popular. It's won its last 2 races. The rest of them all have a little bit to prove, like I say. So there's a horse in it called Rainer's World. It's one of Philip Kirby's horses. It's got a young lad called Thomas Dowson on board. Quite like Thomas Dowson as a jockey. I think he's an up-and-coming good young lad. It's 6-1 at this moment in time. It's been kept very, very busy this year. I checked before. I think it's had about 5 or 6 runs this year. So that's not going to be wanting for fitness whatsoever. It's had some valid excuses as to why it hasn't won yet over its last 3 runs. One of them being it's been running in the best races out of all of these. It's been running in Class 1 races against some very good horses. So looking at this, a lot of horses have got to step up, prove themselves at this grade. And I think this one, he's got everything sort of primed, ready to go. And it's got some key form from last year's Cheltenham Festival as well. It came 3rd in the mares race last year, and it came from an absolute mile back. It flew up that hill. That was over 2 miles. I think the step up to 3 miles on good ground looks perfect for it. I think it's been overlooked a little bit because there's some sexier horses in it from some sexier stables. And I think 6-1's a good bet for it. I can't see it being out the frame. So, again, good bet. I wouldn't put anyone off putting all of these in a place-only accumulator as well. I haven't worked that out, but you're probably talking 6-4 for the first one, 6-4 for this, just to get a place. And then the last one, I just want to draw your attention to the form of the Skelton stable at the moment. We've got Harry Skelton riding for his brother Dan from a famous horse family. You might associate the Skeltons with show jumping, actually. His dad won a gold medal at the Olympics in London. But a horsey family, they go back years. But the stable couldn't be in any better form. Have a look at any ride that he's got at Kelso on Saturday. As I say, the Skelton stable's flying. The pick of which, for me, is My Drogo in the 130. It's 2-1 at the moment. It's, to be honest, it looks like a future chaser to me. This is over hurdles, but he's had 3 runs, 2 this season. He looks like a massive improver. Whatever happens on Saturday, he'll go on to bigger and better things. I think this horse has got a good future. So My Drogo, 130, Kelso, 2-1. And as I say, you could look at combining those 3 in a place-only treble as well, which could pay quite nicely.
Nice, mate. Nice. Good. Some good prices again and some good selections. Good inside knowledge as well. I think I'll be tempted for a lucky something or other and throw all selections in this week, I think.
Yeah.
All 10?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And see where we go with it.
But why not? Why not?
I always back the Skeltons. Always when I see, especially the favourite. Do you know the thing I like about the Skelton horses? And I don't know whether many do it. Many trainers and jockey combos. They always seem their horses to come from the back. They never front runners. Or am I making that up? It always seems that they come from the back.
So, do you know what it is? A trait that I associate with, obviously, the Skeltons and Holly Doyle, as I said before. No, but he's brilliant at judging the pace from the back. Jamie Spencer's another one who likes doing that on the flat. But yet Skelton's had me a nice 18-1 winner last week, so the stable continues in cracking form.
Yeah,
nice, mate. Nice, good.
And that's it, Chris.
Now,
we're done.
Yeah, well, I was just about to say. Now I've noticed a lot of offers and things starting appearing for Cheltenham. A lot of bookies are promoting different offers, so it's worth, before you put your anti-post bets on or something like that, it's worth having a little look around the market, see what they're giving. I've noticed is it Paddy Power offering money back and as cash and things like that. You don't have to be free bets; it's all cash on the first race and stuff like that. So it's well worth shopping about before you put your bets on. And as it gets a little bit closer, it might be worth looking. If you do want to, it's completely up to you. Maybe opening a new betting account. There's always good offers on for that as well. So as usual, please do only bet for a bit of fun, whatever you can afford. Lads, absolute pleasure once again. Some fantastic selections there. I know it's the Everton tips. Absolutely nothing came in there. Still
Yeah.
nil.
It's half time now. I did say it'd be tight today and hardly any goals, but a bit disappointing that 0-0 at half time.
That surprised me. That Calvert-Lewin had a good chance just before half time. It looks like.
Well. Right, gents. Well, thanks very much. Fingers crossed for this weekend. Hopefully, we get plenty of winners between us all. We can have something to shout about next week. As usual, please like and subscribe to this channel. Tell your friends. We are available through Spotify, iTunes, on your Alexa device, YouTube, you name it. We're on it. Come and speak to us in person if you want. We'll get us all together again. We'll do it all in person if you want us to. I'm only kidding. So, lads, thanks very much for your time, and I shall speak to you next week.
Cheers, Chris.
Thanks a lot. See you soon.